Hey, welcome back to Black History 365, where we talk about random Black history facts, people, events, whatever the fuck we want to talk about in Black history 365 days a year. Obviously, it's not literally 365 days a year, but the point is we're doing it throughout the year and not just on Black History Month. So today I want to talk to you guys about the brown paper bag test. Some of you guys may know about it, but strangely enough, the more I talk to people about this, the more I find out that a lot of Black people actually don't know about the brown paper bag test, which just blows my mind because it has been a huge part of our history and really still kind of takes place today. So what exactly is the brown paper bag test? So the brown paper bag test was something that was created by light-skinned Black people to create these kind of exclusive social clubs, groups, schools, pretty much everything that you could possibly think of. It was a way to basically separate themselves from dark-skinned Black people and create these kind of exclusive, basically create a hierarchy of Blackness. It took place in a lot of HBCUs, in Black colleges, Black schools, Black churches even, and even in a lot of job fields as well. It was a way to kind of create a separation between the Black people and kind of create this like elite group because light-skinned Black people were seen as basically better Black people. We're basically seen as these better, more valuable, happier, wealthier, more human than the dark-skinned Black people. That being said, we're going to take this all the way back in history because it didn't actually start with Black people. When I was researching this, I actually found an article that was talking about how slave masters, especially down in the South, were trying to find ways to maintain control and authority over their slaves. And they ended up getting in contact with this slave owner from the Virgin Islands, I believe. And he basically came up and trained them on ways on how to create conflict between the Black people. So this is kind of where the idea of colorism started. So these slave owners would start basically kind of separating the Black people by skin hue. So this is where we hear a lot about the lighter skinned Black people would usually get brought inside the house. Though it wasn't like a great, fantastic time, they were definitely treated better. They usually, they got the cooking jobs, they got the house jobs. They sometimes wouldn't even have to work. Slave owners viewed them as smarter, more valuable, more desirable, healthier, kinder, more durable. So, things like that. They were basically treated better. Obviously, they were still slaves, so it wasn't like they were living the dream. But compared to the things that the darker skinned slaves were going through, it was considerably better treatment. So this whole separate them by skin color thing that the slave masters did was kind of where this whole idea started in the first place. So this was ingrained in the Black community for hundreds of years, really. So when slavery ended, this ideology was still kind of ingrained in us. So when slavery ended, light-skinned Black people started to create these exclusive social clubs called blue vein societies. Blue vein societies were basically the precursor to the brown paper bag test. And the reasons for these were basically to create these exclusive clubs because they felt that because they had been taught all this time that light skin was more favorable and they would have better lives and they could pass better for white people so they wouldn't have much trouble if the darkies weren't there. So they created these blue vein societies, which literally the test was if your skin was light enough that they could see a blue vein through your skin, then you could pass. That's why it's called a blue vein society. Pretty fucking crazy. Brown paper bag test was started to come into play more in the 50s and 60s, and it was definitely more seen in like organizations and businesses. One of the biggest places it took place was on college campuses with fraternities and sororities. So they would literally nail a brown paper bag to the door, and if you were darker than the brown paper bag, you were not allowed to enter. And like just for reference, this is a brown paper bag. Excuse the CVS logo, but like, can you guys see this? This is a brown paper. This is a regular brown paper bag. Like, this is a little ridiculous. I feel like a lot of light-skinned people wouldn't even pass this test. So they would literally nail a brown paper bag on the test and be like, "Oh, sorry, bitch, you can't come in. You too fucking dark, so you were not allowed to get in." And this started to spread more to a lot of Black churches because they wanted to maintain this image, this positive image. They did not want dark-skinned Black people in their churches. So we started getting dark-skinned people started getting turned away from churches, from schools. There were a lot of schools that would exclusively only let in light-skinned Black people. It's a huge problem with sororities and fraternities. Social clubs, schools, they would throw what they call bag parties, which was literally like whatever kind of party you could think of, but guess what? That bag is nailed to the door, and if you can't pass that bag test, then you are not allowed. And although the brown paper bag test itself doesn't really exist anymore, it does still randomly pop up from time to time. For some HBCU or some elite school, it's usually shut down pretty quickly. However, the ideology of this elitism between the black community and light-skinned black people being seen as more valued and desirable and wealthier, whatever it is, and that the dark-skinned people are pretty much just the bottom of the barrel and nobody wants to fuck with us. That ideology is still here. It's called colorism. As much as our community, especially the black community, wants to ignore it and doesn't want to talk about it because they feel like, well, you're just creating conflict between the community and we're all black at the end of the day. Yeah, we are still black at the end of the day, but to sit here and pretend like this isn't an issue is not helping anybody. It was very interesting. I was reading this book written by a woman who did this whole case study on Washington, D.C. and colorism in the brown paper bag test because Washington, D.C. was actually notorious for it. It's very interesting because she said she always got 3 common responses from black people when she talked to them. Number 1 was they knew about it but didn't want to talk about it, usually out of guilt or shame or whatever it was. Number 2 was just flat out denial that the brown paper bag test ever happened and that colorism exists, all that fun bullshit that people like to spew just to try to get themselves out of talking about something serious. The last thing that she said she encountered a lot was that a bunch of black people just accusing her of wanting to make the black community look bad to white people, which I found very, very interesting. And I think that idea is still alive and well in the black community today, because anytime anybody tries to talk about colorism and the problems that we have in our own community, it's always like, well, you're just turning us, we're just fighting against each other, we're just turning us into the white man, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, it's a real issue. And if you really want to sit here and pretend like you're pro-black, you need to recognize all of the issues in the black community, because we can't all be pro-black, we can't all be united if you're leaving some of us behind. And with colorism still here, and I promise you it's still here, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to fucking happen. So I really hope that you guys do some research yourself, because it's out there. I'm going to put a shit ton of links down in the description for you guys to start studying yourself. Google is absolutely fucking free. There are so many studies, like literal official government studies, about how colorism is a problem in this country and really worldwide. Like worldwide, it's not even just a black community issue. It's a worldwide issue. Just light-skinned people overall are considered more desirable, more valuable, more worth people's time, and dark-skinned people across the globe are always treated worse and are not given the same opportunities. So it's time to wake the fuck up and stop pretending like this issue doesn't exist. Just because we talk about an issue in our community does not mean we're throwing you under the bus. It does not mean that we're destroying our community from within. It means we're pointing out an issue that we all need to work on, and we all need to work together to change. That's all it means. And if you can't deal with that, then you're not really pro-black, and really you don't need to be a part of this conversation because you're not helping anybody. Okay? So that's Black History 365 on brown paper bag test. As I said before, I'm going to put a shit ton of links down in the description box. I just really hope you guys actually take the time to do some research and actually not be ignorant when you have all this free information at the tips of your fingers in your back pocket. It's just right there. Jesse Williams himself told you guys to use the Googles. So yeah, like, share, and subscribe. I will see you guys sometime next week. Bye. Mwah. So in 1925, he decided that that association that he formed with those other people, with the other historians, had a responsibility to educate our people on Black history. So he announced in February in 1926 that he was going to start Negro History Week. So why did he choose February? And this is where all you guys go, why did we get the shortest month of the year? Has nothing to fucking do with the days in the fucking year, bitch. Has to do with the fact that black celebrations were already taking place in February. He chose February because he knew it would be easier to slide Black History Week or Negro History Week at this point into something that already existed in black celebrations than to try to create this whole new fucking thing and try to get everybody to sign on to it and everything else. Just fucking slide it into something.